is bad. It's terrible, don't do it. Unless we're talking about film, then cheating is great. A cheat in film is a trick, a bit of sleight of hand that helps you give your audience an unexpected and exciting experience. Technically, everything we do in film is cheating reality, unless you're Tom Cruise.
That's right.
But what's great about the 5 that we've lined up for you today is that these are all things that you could do right now, regardless of budget. So let's jump in. Again, not everyone can be Tom Cruise.
I am dangerous.
99% of actors aren't going to hang themselves outside of a plane that's lifting off or actually scale the largest building in the world or do almost any of their own stunts. And that is where the Texas switch can help out. It's a trick that has been used in film for decades, mainly because of how simple and effective it is. And once you know it, you'll see it everywhere, and this is what it looks like. In the same shot, you have your actor transitioning into or out of dangerous or impossible situations. So for this, all you need is your actor and someone to double them, usually a stunt performer. Like this shot here from Elf. Will Ferrell steps out of the frame, and when he launches onto the tree, it is now a stunt double. An easy way to spot these is the effort the filmmakers take to hide the double's faces, like in this shot here. Of course, if you're on low to no budget, stunts aren't really something in your box of resources, but stunt moments aren't the only uses for the Texas switch. Take this moment from Mission Impossible 3.
Pull the car.
It's such a nice car.
And yet,
Do it.
They use the Texas switch to sell that mask gag perfectly without needing a bunch of visual effects. Or these shots from Forrest Gump and Captain America. They use the technique to have their actors impossibly far from the camera, creating a sense of otherworldly speed without the need for expensive visual effects. But the Texas switch isn't just for people. You can do it with objects as well, like switching out a prop, or this shot from Speed, which is one of my favorite Texas switch moments of all time. The shot starts with the real bus driving down, but it takes a left turn, and what we see is the bus that is rigged to explode, all in one shot, so it really has a great effect to put you right smack dab in the middle of the moment. A French turnaround is when you use the same direction as 2 different directions, and I'll explain. Take this scene that we put together a few years ago. We built this exterior jungle scene inside of our garage at the studio using some foliage we pulled in and lighting tricks, but we didn't have enough foliage or space to make a 360 setup. So instead, we shot one side, then shifted things around to make the background look different enough, then shot what those characters were supposed to be looking at, but in the same exact direction. Or a more simple example would be the Justin Batman sketch we did a few months back. Instead of setting the light to work in both directions, we use the same background for both angles since it's just a black background anyway. The trick here is to make sure that you still obey the 180-degree rule. So if I'm on Josh's right shoulder looking at Justin, when they change seats and I'm looking at Josh, I need to be over Justin's left shoulder. It's stupid simple, but it has come in handy a ton, and it's something that has been used on big features as well. Here's a great bonus cheat that's not on the list, and that's music. Music is easily one of the most powerful tools that you have for your project. You can do a ton of lifting when it comes to setting the tone or informing your audience about what your character is thinking or feeling without them saying a word. And we actually showed this a bit ago when we stripped music from some famous scenes and put in our own. It's a great experiment in what music does for your scene, like turning this
Do you think this will help me, Eddie?
into this.
Do you think this will help me, Eddie?
And in that episode, like this episode, we got all our music from Artlist. Of course, Artlist has a massive catalog of great music for any project that you're working on, from what you heard in this episode to any genre of chart music to things that are great to use for events, underbeds, and so on. It's really a broad selection, which is a must for us since we're always trying something new, but what I love the most is their search. They've done a great job curating all their music, so I can search for something like Circus and make Mad Max more fun. And you get unlimited license, which gives you access to everything from social to client and commercial, film and TV, and on any platform. But now they also have a personal creator plan that is much cheaper and gives you license to use across all social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and so on. And with most of us, that license is going to be more than enough, so it's great to have that lower cost option there now. And speaking of YouTube, every song is cleared through YouTube, so you know you don't need to worry about that before you even upload your video. video. So check the notes below for our link, which gives you 2 months free with an annual subscription. And if you want to see our episode where we shifted music in those famous scenes, you'll find that in the notes as well. Logo. This one may be both the simplest and most complex on the list. Simplest because you are literally just moving your actor, the end, but most complex because you need to have the construction of the final scene firmly in your head to make it all work. And I've done this in almost every one of my short films, like in our latest Century. We set Justin up at this position earlier in the day in this bit of sun, but as the sun started to move, that little patch of light that we had him in moved as well. So we had to shift him down to make this match. And although you can't tell at all in the short, he started up here and ended down here. Another way is to cheat the geography of your location to make your location work perfectly for you, like I did in my short film Ballistic. The mother and daughter sneak down the stairs into this door, which leads to the basement, but in reality, that door led to a bathroom and the basement was an unfinished concrete add-on to a house miles away. Or here with Sentinel, basically this entire short film works that way. It looks like Justin makes his way in one direction the entire time from point A to point B, but in reality, he went this way and then this way to go back this way and so on. So again, the easiest and most complex with endless uses. Mainly, the idea here is to not get locked down to the realities of your location. If you're smart about how you shoot it, you can bend things a surprising amount. Reflections are the bane of mine and pretty much everyone else's existence and is an issue so often. There's been plenty of shots in my films that we needed to do removals in post thanks to reflections, even some that were planned. But removals can be tough and it's always better to try to do as much as possible in camera if you can, and there are some tricks to help get rid of those reflections. One simple scenario is that if you're shooting a picture frame, if you're struggling with reflections that are making the picture and the frame hard to see, grab a black sheet of some sort. We used a black 6x, throw it up on a stand and place it to block out those reflections. Or a similar scenario like this microwave shot. Here we wanted to see straight onto the microwave door as it opens and closes, and there you see the camera and everything else. So to fix this, we're gonna grab that 6x again, pop it on a C-stand and place it behind the camera. But we are still seeing a bit of the camera. This is because we are close to the microwave and we have this top light that's edging our camera body, making it stand out. To fix this, Justin held a flag above everything to kill the top light from hitting the camera and we were good to go. No more reflection. Now this worked because our camera is black. If your gear isn't black, then you would just want to cover it with something that is, and you're set. And this would work for anything reflective like this, like TV, glasses, and so on. Then one option, which is for specific uses, is a frosted glass finish spray, which will make any reflective surface not reflective. Like with these sunglasses from an old episode, we sprayed it on and no more reflections, but as you can see, it is a specific look, so again, this isn't gonna work for everything. Then of course, you have a polarizer filter. If you have an issue like seeing through a car window, pop that on, give it a spin, it does its science magic, and it vanishes out those pesky reflections that's trying to ruin your movie. Finally, we have mirrors. You can use a mirror for a lot of different use cases, like getting your camera into a position you couldn't otherwise. Like a few shots from my short film Tell. We had this moment in a tub and I wanted a shot on Todd, but there was a wall too close to get far enough back to really get what I needed. So I tossed in a mirror in there and we shot through that to get the shot that I wanted. The only thing to keep in mind is when you work with mirrors, it does flip your image, so you're gonna need to flip that back in post. You can also get really low angles that wouldn't normally be possible for you by using a mirror. Just toss it on the ground and shoot through that. And depending on the mirror, it can give you different vibes. We got an interesting look from this one. It made the image a little imperfect and almost more filmic. And this very simple technique isn't just left to us low, no budgeters. J.J. Abrams used mirrors to get these shots from 2009 Star Trek film. Instead of going green screen, Abrams had the actors stand on mirrors on the Paramount lot. Abrams got above them, pointed the camera down with the mirrors under the actors reflecting the sky. After that, he just shook the camera a lot and he had his shots. But that's just 5 techniques of these kind. There are so many different smart ways to get what you want for your project by doing these cheats. If you have a favorite cheat that we didn't talk about here, share it with the class by posting in the notes below. And of course, if you aren't subscribed, consider doing that and hit the bell to be notified when we put up the next episode. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.